Yo, YouTube, what's going on? It's D-Boy Classics, and welcome back to another video. You can probably tell from the title, this video is based around how to get more snatch blocks and how to be optimal playing paint defense. So, I know this year alone is pretty questionable with the paint defense, so probably the worst I've ever seen it. But outside of that, you still able to get them highlights, you still able to play elite defense to a degree, as long as 2K is letting you. But enough of that, I'm just going to get into the video. I'll make this real quick and sweet for y'all, so let's look into that. Alright y'all, so to begin the video, one of the more crucial things when you're trying to go for like snatch blocks or more just defensive highlights and blocks, you want to change up your settings. So we're going to go into the options right over here, and you want to go down controller settings. When you go into the controller settings, you want to go all the way down to the pro stick defense. And you can see right here, I have my pro stick defense at camera relative. I know probably majority of y'all have it on absolute, and I do recommend changing that because the major difference in absolute and camera relative, it's pretty crazy. I'm not going to lie to y'all. When I do have it on camera relative, I've been having this for years. Camera relative does provide the best defense when you're going for blocks or just overall contest. The reason part is because you're able just to just maneuver, not even maneuver, but just angle when you use the analog stick or when you're going for a contest, as in a block, or just when someone's going up against you. So basically, you have the most optimal way of just contesting somebody or just getting a block in general. So definitely have this. And I don't know if people definitely play with this. I know some people probably don't like that. They probably want the arrow so they know who to guard. But personally, me, I'll have it off. And so the reason why I have it off is I don't want this bank off my character trying to depend on where the arrow goes on this and that. I'm able just to pick up who I need to pick up, who I see fit. So I do recommend having the who to guard off. But if you're not comfortable with it, you don't have to do that. It's not necessary. Also too, these settings right here, the defensive assist with intense defense, that's made for AI. It doesn't really assist for like actual players, but if you feel like it feels different when you have it on, just put it at 100%. That is what it is, but I do say it's mainly just for the AI. But if you're trying to get the badges or you're just trying to just get highlights and micro, definitely have it at 100. But besides that, let's get into the badges. Alright y'all, so transition to the badges. You can see right here, we're gonna start with the most important one, which is rim protector. FYI, for those who have rim take or glass take, you are still able to get snatch blocks without rim protector. It's just obvious that your chance of getting a snatch block is reduced, but with good position and timing, you're still able to get that if you have those takeovers activated. But next up, also, it's pretty showing the higher the tier for your rim protector, the more chances you are to get a snatch block. But keep in mind too, there are some badges that do counter those chances, which is Fearless Finisher, Giant Slayer, and Acrobat. Those badges combined kind of negates the chance of you obviously blocking an opponent. So if you're not able to block the person that's going up against you, obviously you won't be able to get a snatch block. But outside of that, it's all it comes down to the position and timing. But I'll talk more about that later. Next up, we're gonna get to the next badge, which is Chasing Artists. Alright y'all, so now we're gonna get to the badges that help enhance the rim protector. So basically this helps add more chances of you getting a snatch ball or just a block in general. So the first one will be Chase Down Artist. Everybody know what's up with Chase Down Artist. It had a major buff this year and it's pretty necessary for everyone to have it. So very good badge. This badge in general helps enhance any block potentials that you could possibly get. So basically, if you have a high block rating with rim protector and you add Chase Down Artist onto it, it's a shoo-in. If you have good timing, you know how to catch up to people, you're going to get the block. That goes for anybody. That goes for guards, so especially for my big men. It helps just basically just boost up your speed to get to the rim and protect it better. So next up, we're going to get into Intimidator. Alright y'all, so next up you can see right here, we're going to get into the next badge, which is Intimidator. Intimidator, pretty much everybody knows what's up with it. Very good defensive badge to have. So, and particularly in this situation too, it is necessary if you have it on gold or Hall of Fame, because in most cases when people are trying to take it up against you or trying to go into the hole, if you have Hall of Fame Intimidator, by you cutting them off, it's going to give them a very bad animation, and by them having a bad animation, that gives you time to actually jump and try to get a block, or if you're lucky enough to get the snatch block animation. So, going along with that, we're going to go into the next badge, which is Pogo Stick. Alright y'all, so the next badge we're going to get into is obviously Pogo Stick. My thoughts on Pogo Stick is it's a very good badge, very strong. It is not mandatory when you're trying to just get blocks or just snatch blocks, animations in general, but it does help enhance it if you do have it equipped. If you do have it equipped, I do recommend having it only on gold. Hall of Fame is not necessary. It's not much of a difference between gold and Hall of Fame. Gold is just at the point where it's just good enough to have. So you can spare that extra like defensive point in something else. Unless you have enough and you just want to put it on there, you can put it on there. But it's not necessary. But also too, the reason why I do recommend it if you do want to have it on is it helps with the recovery of when you jump, especially if you bit someone who did a pump fake or someone who just drove in. But also too, it speeds up the initiating of the jump animation, so you can beat people to the hoop if someone's about to take it up on for a dunk or a layup. So that's what I have to say about poke stick. But let's lastly look into the last badge, which is brick wall. All right, y'all. So to wrap things up with the badges, the last badge we're going to talk about is brick wall. And y'all probably wondering, why are you talking about brick wall? Well, brick wall helps when it comes to stamina management, or just going against people who are just driving against you or pushing them against you, especially with post scorers, glass cleaners, or slashers. So what I mean by that is when people are trying to blow by you, or people are bumping into you, or you bumping into them, you are draining their stamina more when you have a higher brick wall status. So for example, I have it on Hall of Fame, so my chances are when I'm bumping into somebody, or I'm guarding somebody on the perimeter or into the paint, their stamina is going to deplete a lot more quicker. So if they go with a shot and their stamina is very low, or they have none at all, they're going to get a bad animation. And by me having more stamina than them, and they have no stamina themselves, and they go up with a layup or a dunk attempt, chances are they're going to get a really bad animation. That's going to favor me, and that's going to lead to a obviously easy block or snatch block itself. So I do recommend having it on Hall of Fame. You need to also too with brick wall, everybody knows what's up with it. Very strong badge, put people on the floor doing this, make it easy for pick and rolls, and yada yada yada. But besides from that, now we're going to talk about the different setups, positioning, and also the type of blocks you can go for when you're going for snatch blocks. So you'll see when I get to that part though. Alright y'all, so now we're going to get into the more detailed things of this video. You can see right here I am in the 2KU tips category of things, especially with the defense. And the first thing we're going to talk about is intense defense. So why I'm talking about intense defense, because that does play a part in getting good block animations or snatch block animations. So I really only recommend, especially for my bigger men or people who are slower on defense, only really activate this when you're more closer to the paint, because if you do have a low lateral quickness, by you activating this, you're going to end up hitting yourself, especially against a faster opponent with Hall of Fame quick first step or just overall higher speed than yours. So it comes in clutch when you're going against a post scorer, someone's trying to bully you into the paint. You're able to just kind of back them up, especially if you have Hall of Fame brick wall. They won't be able to back you down as easy unless they have back down Punisher. But outside of that too, it's going to give you more chance of getting good contests and making it harder for them to take up any type of shot against you. But besides from that, we're going to get to the next part, which goes for the vertical contest. For those who don't know what that is, I'm going to explain it. Alright, so next up, you can see right here, we're going to talk about a vertical contest. For those who don't know what a vertical contest is basically when instead of you jumping at the shooter or at the person who's attempting to dunk or layup, you're jumping straight up. So basically towards the hoop where the ball is supposed to go. And the reason why vertical contest is so good is it's probably the most optimal way to get a shot contest or a shot block. And so by you using the more optimal way of getting a shot block, that increases your chance of getting a block in general, which also increases your chance of getting a snap block if you have the right stuff for that. So outside of that, you want to hold L2 and do that. Basically, you want to hold your left analog stick towards the hoop if someone's about to go up against you. Well, it was a slasher driving in, or a post scorer drop stepping, or a post scorer just trying to go up against you. That's all I have to say for that. But next up, we're going to go into the last thing, which is a swap block. Alright y'all, so to wrap things up with the defensive controls and all that, the last thing we're going to talk about is the swap block. So for those who don't know what a swap block is, it's basically just an aggressive block. So that's when you hold R2. So it's basically just hunting for highlights. So basically the most aggressive block animation you could possibly get as a rim protector. And on top of this too, the reason why I'm mentioning this is you can combine the swap block with the vertical contest. And so in some cases, you're going to jump high as hell and literally just launch the ball in the other direction, or even grab it if you do get the snap ball animation. And on top of that too, if you're holding L2 with the R2 and going for the vertical, that's probably the most optimal way to playing for a shot contest. So I do recommend doing that, combining all three of these things if you're going for a shot block. And lastly, I'm going to go to like prime examples, some footage of me and my own snatch blocks, and I'm going to talk upon that myself. Alright y'all, so to wrap things up in the video, I got some live clips of myself using the on technique I'm trying to teach y'all to get snatch blocks. So basically, all I'm going to really elaborate on is probably a visual cue that can lead to you getting snatch blocks, also in positioning and timing. So basically, you can see in this clip alone, I'm always trying to beat my opponent to the paint. Give it granted, you're not always going to be able to beat your opponent to the paint, especially if they're driving and they're quicker to you. So that's when chase the artist come to clutch and also catching up to your opponent. But for the times that you do beat your opponent to the paint, you can see right here, he tried to cut in, not expecting him to get down there so quick, but I was able to do so because I was able to read their offense. So I was able to help my teammate basically cut him off, and he took a bad layup. And so basically I was able to just catch him off that and get the snatch block animation. Same thing with this one. He tried to get a last second score, but shot clock ran out, but I was still able to get a contest. Even though it don't count, it still counts because you saw the visual of it. Also too, what I mean by a visual cue, each time the people drove towards my player always raised his hands up before I jumped at them. And the reason is, like, that's showing that you're gonna have more a dominant defensive contest than them having an offensive presence towards you. If that makes sense. And basically, every time I raise my hand and I go for it, chances are I'm gonna get a snatch block. And I'm gonna get a dominant animation that's gonna lead to that snatch block. So basically, you can see each time they got a really bum layup against me, and it always put them in a bad situation where, boom, I got a snatch or I got a good block. But besides from that, I hope y'all find this video pretty helpful. Definitely ask any questions down in the comments. I will answer every one of them, and definitely let me know if you want any more stuff in the future. But besides from that, I'm gonna catch you on the next video. Peace out.